Alright, welcome everyone, ObscureAnimeGuy here. And I know this is not anime, what I'm about to talk about. Playing more Dragon's Dogma, by the way, continuing with that. Yeah, I know, offline, don't care. Menu. Game. Let me look at that so I can just see myself talk, because I just watched the final episode of Game of Thrones. And you know what? Yeah, it's not anime, but I want to talk about it. And because this tonight was the final episode. The show that's been going on since 2010, I think, right? Like all the way back then, like a whole century. Yeah, no, I don't care. Shut up, you guys. Rook. How do I grab again? Rook. Alright. You guys, shut up. I want to talk about Game of Thrones. You two. Oh. Who are you? This is my hand. What? Wait, did I just get in trouble for throwing my own guy? What? Oh wow, I actually got consequences for it this time. Wow, for real. So you can get arrested in Dragon's Dogma. Well, you know what? That's okay. Because this is about Game of Thrones right now. I don't mind. So let's see, it started in 2010. And just throughout this whole time, it just escalated into like one of these like big epics. If you don't know what Game of Thrones is, which I'm sure you kind of heard about, even if you haven't watched it, I'm sure you've seen people talk about it a lot. It's basically like this fantasy epic on HBO that started all the way in like 2010. Which was, just to give you a brief synopsis, not sure if you want to watch it. It's about like these families, these houses. They all kind of like, something happens, like the king dies, and they all want to like go for this throne and everything. Blah blah blah. This was the final episode. And my thoughts on it. Excuse me. No, that wasn't the thought. I felt like there could have been more. So, do I... How do I get out of here? I'm not sure if I liked it or not. Because there's still a lot of questions to answer. So let's go through it. Because I'm not going to talk about the whole show. Because that's going to be a lot to talk about. Instead, I'm just going to be talking about just the final episodes, just some of the important stuff, some of the things that happened, some of the things that I liked, some of the things I didn't like about it. And I think I'll start with things I didn't like. Let's see. I guess now, and I figure now is probably the best time to talk about it. I did originally plan to kind of do a review after each episode. But before I did that, I kind of just wanted to do it as a whole. Because now that the show's over, everything's wrapped up. And I feel like there is a lot of wasted potential. The guys who wrote it, I don't know their names. All I know is they just go by D&D. HBO actually offered them to make more episodes and stuff. But they chose to wrap it up here. Oh, wait. What's this? Shackle. Cool, I got Shackle. And I felt like they could have done more. For starters, usually each season was 10 episodes. This season was actually like 6 episodes, and each was like an hour long. minus the whole like behind the scenes after every episode. And I guess the first thing I want to talk about, which I feel like is one of the biggest, huge disappointments of, were the White Walkers. If you don't know what those are, they're kind of like these guys that like literally just start from like the very first episode of the series, and they just been like this sort of impending doom. They're like zombies, but they're also like ice zombies. I mean, like, I felt like they had a lot of build up because you always felt like they were there coming. Like you knew they were going to be like a big impact on the world.
Do as you're told, and a bit of coin will buy you freedom.
Yeah, sure.
No love of crowds, and less still of unwanted chatter. Pray, move along, sir.
I'm a lady, but okay. Well, my character's a lady, but whatever. So am I good? Alright, well, I'm not tossing my own guys in the city again. But yeah, like, you see them, the way they, like, build them up and everything. And what happens to them? I'm just gonna walk around like this still. They die in, like, what was it, the second episode? The second episode of the season. It's like everyone is literally getting their asses kicked. They come pouring in. And then the big guy comes in, which they call like the Night King, which kind of looks like a albino Darth Maul. He's got like horns and stuff. He comes in, and then all of a sudden Arya just kind of like leaps on him. He catches her, but then she does the trick with the knife, right in the stomach, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And then that's that. And I think I picked a good time to talk about it at the end of the whole series, because I felt like that's just... I was really hoping they do something more with it. I was kind of expecting a little turnaround or a twist. But that's it? That's just one stab? Gone? These guys who have all this build-up and everything gone? I wasn't rooting for them, but I was kind of expecting a little bit more out of it. So, then they're gone, second episode. You act like it feels like it should have been like something with the final episode. But no. So everyone's cheering and stuff. Yeah, we got the White Walkers again. They also had to have a truce, because they're like all kind of like fighting each other. That's pretty much what the whole series is about. It's like families fighting each other for like the throne. It's kind of like this like big throne with like swords and everything. Which is kind of like the whole theme too, how like kind of power drives you like crazy sometimes. So that happens. And then John kind of like finds out. John was like this character. A lot of the characters in this series you feel bad for, because they went through like a lot. And the one character like everybody was kind of like rooting for and everything, to actually manage to get it, did it in a way that was just... But I do understand what they were going for. It's a shame they did it that way. I was kind of hoping it didn't have to go that way. But it did. Basically, White Walkers are done. But then, I guess she just kind of forgot. She loses another dragon. Then Missandei all of a sudden gets captured. They get like kind of like cornered by the Iron Fleet. And they got this one chance. But they're also like, everyone's like kind of just afraid of her too, because like the whole thing about the families with the Targaryens is that they can be crazy sometimes and like bipolar. In fact, they have like a saying where like when a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin and everybody holds their breath to see if they turn out bad or good. That's kind of like the whole thing too, because it kind of all started with them, and then she just started showing signs of becoming like manic and stuff. So they go in, they sat. I should be like walking and doing stuff more. How do I get my equipment? Oh my god, am I gonna get like, arrested for like talking? No. Alright, cool.
On my way.
Don't worry.
I'll go at once.
Very well. Agreed. It must be done.
How do I... Where do I get my equipment? Alright, there we go. Yeah, I forgot. I named myself that woman. So... Once they actually, like... She does have, like, the opportunity, like, she's got everything in her place. But at the same time, it's like, no, you don't want to, like, go overboard. So she has it. They ring the bell. They surrender. But then this is where, like, they kind of like, complain, and she just does something like... Basically, she just goes nuts and just... No, I want to wear them. It's like she has everything in her hands, and then all of a sudden she just goes mad queen and just starts burning everything. And it's just like, and this is like the last episode too, like before the last episode, I mean, the final episode. And it's just, what are you looking at? What are they doing? You guys done? Okay. So it's like, it just kind of like came out of nowhere, and I get what they were trying to go for. But it just felt like insane. It's like, you know, you didn't really think she would kind of do that. I got low controller on my battery. Okay, I got the USB cord thing right here. I think that's what you're used for, right? No, wait, where are you? Over here? Yep, you are over here. It's like you're rooting for her, then she does that, then it's just like, wow. But then when I watched this episode, and I guess I'll bring up the good point, like they did kind of fix it. That kind of is what she wanted to do from the beginning. Like she kept saying stuff like breaking the wheel and like liberating everyone. And everyone was just kind of like going, yeah, go do it. Everybody watching stuff. But then when she actually like does it, you look at it like, oh, that's what you meant. And then when she goes on and saying like, we're gonna liberate Door, and we're gonna do the same thing with Winterfell, and then it's like, oh no, this is actually a bad idea. This is actually bad. Like, I guess it's like a theme sometimes. When you have to like look at it from like that person's point of view. Because in her mind, in her view, her point of view, she felt like what she did was right. What? What are you doing? How do I change my clothes? There we go. Much better. Equip. With the cape, cool. I'll wear that. That's all I got. Alright, I think I'm good. So, I'm staying away from you guys.
Who among you has seen the dragon? Who saw... You seem determined, unlike to judge.
It's a little late at night too, so sorry if I'm a little tired. But I still got this energy I want to talk about. So the minute she does do that, and she actually, like, has everything she wants now. Like, she has the throne and everything. But then it's like, she did it in a way, it's like, unexpected, and it's like, oh, wow. It's like, Tyrion is like, again, one of my favorite characters, and like, I'm so glad he didn't die. Spoilers, by the way. You feel bad for him too, because it's like, he was rooting for her and stuff, and then when she does that, and then he like goes into like the crypt, and he just sees like his brother and his sister, and it's just so sad. There's a lot of sad moments. There's like a couple sad moments, like two. And the one with Tyrion, you know, you just felt bad for him too, because it's like, yeah, you know what? He didn't like his sister or anything. He loved his brother. He hated his sister, but like, still his family. You know, he lost him. And it's like, didn't want this to happen. So then, she has everything. Everyone's pretty much dead. Like, the whole shot, everything in this episode, like, I'm trying to remember the name of this movie I saw. This anime, because it definitely reminded me of this. I forgot what it's called. It's Ben something. But basically, it's like Hiroshima. It opens up, King's Landing is just destroyed. And it's huge. King's Landing is a huge place. And you start to wonder, are there really survivors? Yeah, people survived or not. I don't think there were. I don't think there were any survivors. You look around, the only guy that was walking around, it's like, this is the part that reminded me of that movie, because it's like, he's like burned and everything. He's just walking aimlessly out of the city. It's been something. I'm gonna Google it real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna check it out. Because it's like Hiroshima. Anime. Ben. Hiroshima. Barefoot Jen. That's what it was. That's what straight up reminded me of that one shot of that guy walking out. Because that's literally what happens. Like, the dragons in that show, the symbolism, they're basically nukes. And when that happened, it was like a nuke dropped on the whole city. Everything's like covered in ash. There's just, everyone's dead. There's bodies everywhere. It's horrifying. And it's just not something you just expected from her. But then again, that technically was what she was planning to do. And I guess it was them trying to be bold. Yeah, I don't think it turned out the way it did for them. The writers, I mean, but I think it was bold. I think it was a good point. And, you know, you have to realize, you have to remember, like, this whole thing is like, this whole show is like, kind of like a whole deconstruction of the whole fantasy epic, like Lord of the Rings. It's like a deconstruction of Lord of the Rings. It's like, you're rooting for her, like, yeah, she's gonna stop the bad guy and everything, but then you start realizing, like, oh, that's how you wanted to do it. Oh. Then you just kind of, like, wonder, like, who's the real enemy? And then there's a part in this episode that kind of shows you who the real enemy is. So, Tyrion's in jail. Like, there's a whole shot, like, the Unsullied just lined up. The Dothraki are in the back, in the middle. They're all, like, going crazy nuts. It's like, yeah, we won shit. They're doing everything. There's just one really cool shot of, like, Daenerys, like, walking towards, and then you got Drogon the dragon in the background that just, like, unsheaths its wings and stuff, and there's, like, oh! There is some cool moments. That's one of the cool moments. That's one of the stuff I liked about it. And that was just awesome. And then I'm like, personally, I was thinking, like, what is she gonna do now? Like, I thought for a second that she was gonna, like, burn the Dothraki. That was what was going on in my mind, because it's like, what does she need the Dothraki for anymore? Like, what are these guys gonna do now? They got what they wanted. But then she talks about doing the same thing for Winterfell, Doran, Highgarden and shit, and it's like, she's gotta be stopped. She's gotta be stopped. And this is another thing that I got disappointed by. That I was thinking, like, there are these two questions. You were wondering yourself, who's gonna take down Daenerys now? And everyone was thinking it was gonna be Arya. Because Arya, like, back in, like, season 5, season 3, she got, like, a prediction from Melisandre, like, and it comes back again in this season, too. Where, she tells, like, the color eyes of the people that she's gonna shut, like, the eyes that she's gonna shut, which are the people she's gonna kill. And out of all the eyes, by the way, she's the one that killed the Night King, by the way, the blue eyes. Which is out of nowhere. The last pair that she was supposed to close were the green eyes. And everyone was thinking, oh, that's Cersei. Cersei has green eyes. But not, because she didn't get to kill Cersei. Everyone was kind of disappointed by the way she died and stuff. But I kind of understand why they did it. So Tyrion will be able to see. Because it's like, you want to see, like, you know, her get everything. But you know what? She kind of went through shit too. I mean, yeah, she was kind of a bitch, but, like, she had to go through some shit as well. You know, there's a lot of character development. Like, the first two bad guys in the first episode that you go, like, oh, I don't like, you know, you end up, like, liking them, you know. They redeemed themselves. Jaime especially. Cersei, maybe not, but, like, she went through some shit too. And I think there was, like, a point in that episode when she was, like, understanding where she was. But then when Dany, like, did that and stuff, you know, I kind of like how it did. I wasn't expecting something like that. I should be, like, playing, I guess.
I would ask you a favor, sir.
Yeah, okay. No, sir, I'm a lady. Stop calling me sir.
You will be eager to hear what I have to say.
Not really. I want to talk about this real quick. So, I mean, a lot of people were disappointed by the way she went. They were kind of like, oh, I want to do this to that bitch. And like, oh, I hate her so much. But it's also like, this is acceptable for me. I mean, yeah, she was a bitch, but also, yeah, I think that was a perfect way. And I think it was a good setup for Tyrion too, because no, he was able to, like, actually see both his brother and his sister, which is, like, heartbreaking for him, and you just feel bad for him. So you go back to the whole Dothraki and the Unsullied. They're all, like, cheering and stuff. Grey Worm, new Master of War. Tyrion starts walking up beside her. And then she goes, oh, hey, you freed your brother. And then he goes, yeah, I did. But you also massacred everyone in the city. And then he takes his hand at the kingpin, just tosses it to the ground. And I am amazed, because then everybody just stops. Except for the Dothraki. You can't hear them, but they're still doing their shit. You can still see in the background. I mean, yeah, they're silent, but you can still see them going. I guess that would have been hard for them. So that happens. He gets taken away as a prisoner. Jon just does not know what to do. And this is another character that had to go through so much. They get so much character development. It's a huge reveal. I'm not going to spoil it or say it. Everyone was kind of expecting him to be on the throne. There were leaks of the episode. I didn't actually look at the leaks. I'm kind of glad I didn't. You know, he goes to, like, whatever's left of the prison cell. It's like a library. Like when I say King's Landing was destroyed, it was destroyed. Done. Nothing left. Everything's like in shambles and ruins. So he's just like in this room locked. So John goes to visit him, and then he's going like, you know, I did root for her. I actually did love her, man. I was actually on Danny's side, but then I'm like, I guess Varys is right, because Varys, who was like the one guy that was like, did not want Danny to be on the throne, was afraid of her, knew that was going to happen. He was right. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get some water, because I am talking a lot. Oh, much better. Okay. Yeah, so Varys was right, apparently. No, he was the guy that was always against Danny. Like, he was on her side. But, you know, he wasn't with her. He wasn't with any king or queen. He was with the people. And he saw what was going on. And there was even, like, there was hints that he was trying to poison her. Poison Danny. Like, from the last episode, before he, like, spoiler anyway, like, Varys is dead. He gets burned. Like, there's a scene where he's writing the letter, too. That's another thing that got left out. Like, who was he writing it to? Did he get it sent? Nah, he burned it. I wasn't sure if he sent it or not. Like, how long was that, like, letter? We never get to see what was written on it. So anyway, he's gone. Fast forward to now, in the whatever prison cell, the room he's locked in. And he's going, he was right. And then Tyrion suggests to Jon, what do you think is right? You know, what will you do that thinks is right? And he's suggesting to him, I think we might have to kill Danny. And he is just like conflicted. Because before he found out, is it not charging?
I have long searched for a certain tome.
Oh, okay, so I should be playing too, because I said I did that. I'm doing mostly talking instead of playing.
To grant the reader command of grand arcane magics. The book itself is ensorcelled, you see.
So are these guys supposed to be like Italian, European?
As a grand wizard with that grimoire in hand.
Wizard.
I would ask you to seek it out and bring it to me, sir.
Stop calling me sir. I am a lady.
Let us speak of such things when
Well, my character's a lady. I mean,
No doubt you were filled with fear and awe, with trepidation,
Alright.
with despair.
so that happens. Cuts to Jon, like walking up on what the hell is going on?
We're like to have dealings with the armorer for some time to come.
So it cuts to them. Oh my god, everyone's just like disappearing. I'm not sure if you guys should be playing the game because I keep getting distracted. So it cuts to Jon walking up to like whatever's left of the Red Keep, up the steps, and then there's just a shot of like this hill. You start seeing this hill moving, and it just turns out to be Drogon. He's just sleeping. So he's walking up the steps. Drogon sees him. You know, stiffs him out, but it's just like chill and everything. Lets him walk past. And then you get to like the shot with like Danny, like right in front of the Iron Throne and everything. You know, it's the one thing she's been going for this entire time. She's been hearing stories about it. You know, you just see the shot, she goes, she touches it and everything, and it's like, no, you finally got it. But at what price? And John's right behind her. They start talking. Did you just like throw something on the floor? What the hell? What are you guys doing? My god. Like, I'm trying to have... I would throw you. I know you like to be thrown, but, like, I can't do it here, apparently. So, cuts to them talking. And now it's like John trying to reason with her and everything. And then Danny's like, just forget about it, man. Let's be together. Sitting there and hugging, and then just... John just stabs her. Right in the stomach. And, like, that happened. And in my mind, I was thinking, like, well, what's going to happen to him now? It's like, you just killed her. It's like, you just unleashed a dragon loose and everything. So then it happens. He's upset. Which is understandable. It's another sad scene. This is another sad scene coming up, too. Drogon is, like, flying around and stuff. And it's like, oh, he's going to come over there. He's going to kill John, isn't he? He flies, like, down. He sees Danny. And it's just the saddest moment. It's like... He's, like, sniffing her and stuff. And it's like... You saw this dragon, there's, like, babies and stuff growing. And, like, she was the one that was most affectionate to him. And he just lets out this big roar. And when you think he's about to, like, burn John... This is the theme of the show. That shows up right here. He burns the throne. He melts it down to nothing. And I felt like, you know, if you want to talk about who the real villain of the entire series was, it's the throne. Because whoever sits on the throne becomes a villain. Because it's that power that drives everybody crazy. So I always say that that's your real antagonist right there. And then he burns it. And instead, no, he doesn't kill John. He just takes, you know, Danny's corpse and just flies off. Gone. That to me was a good moment. Because I felt like that was the whole theme of the whole show right there. Of the whole series, of the whole novel. Because that's the real enemy. That's the real villain right there. That was the wheel that had to be broken. And it was broken. So then that happens. Cuts to everybody outside whatever's left of the kingdoms, of the families and stuff. I start seeing faces like I've never seen before who I'm supposed to remember. Like, there's the one guy that got married off at the Red Wedding, who I forgot about instantly. And then there was this other guy there. I had no idea who he was. He had, like, the sparrow, and I put two together. It's like, oh, shit, that's John. That's Aaron boy. That's Liza Aaron's kid. The one who was sucking on the titty. He grew up. Like, time in this show flies by so fast, especially towards the end of the season. Because he actually looks like a normal guy. Wow. Because it's like, if you don't remember, like, there was this little kid with a veil and everything. That was always, like, by the mom's side and everything. It was, like, sucking on a teat and stuff. It's like a baby. It's kind of, like, weird kid. And, yeah, and then he's just there. Like, I didn't recognize him at first, but, yeah, I put two and two together. That's him. He's an adult. So everyone's gathered. And it's like, who gets to rule now? There's no king or queen. So they all kind of decide. You got the Vale, the guys in the Vale. You got Stan Tarley, I guess that's whoever's left at the Tarleys. The Greyjoys. Which is like... Oh man, I forgot her name. Jesus. Because she didn't do much in the show in the last season either. I almost said you're on for a sec, but it's like, what? God, I forgot her name. But anyway, it'll come back to me. It's like, whatever's left, the Greyjoys, Sansa there, Arya's there, Bran's there. And it's just, this is the one that, I don't even know who the other guy was with the beard, other than Sir Davos. Like, I don't know who the hell you are, but like, whatever, you're there. I guess you're here now, but like I don't think anybody cares who we are at this point. So then it gets to the point, it's like, who gets to rule now? There's no king and there's no queen. John's in prison because technically he killed the queen. Grey Worm's pissed because it's like, yo, I want justice though. They bring Tyrion out. He's technically a prisoner. And they all go like, well, whatever was just left for everyone. Sam Tarly gets up, it's like, what if we just make a democracy? And then just everyone just kind of like laughs. Which I thought was pretty funny. And then it just comes down to, and this is the part that bothers me. They all go to Bran. Man, everyone's just walking up to me and stuff. And guess who has become king? It's Bran. Bran the Broken. Oh, man, it's got dark. This bothered me on so many levels. Because, like, this whole time, Bran didn't want anything. But after that part, I was like, I think you're full of shit, Bran. I think you knew what was gonna happen. And you set everything out to happen that way. I felt like this was Bran's plan all along. There were rumors, it's like, there's this one part in like the second episode where like the White Walkers are coming into the garden to get Bran. And there's this part where like Bran walks off and it's like, where are you walking off to? I'm sure they're gonna like talk about in the other episodes and like, oh no, we're not gonna talk about? Oh no, okay. So that's it?
There's a city new to us and vast.
It felt like there was something going on there with Bran. And like Bran's king now, and it's like, okay, but what do we do about you just dropped your wood, sir? No. Should I take it? I don't care. I said Bran's king now, I guess. Also, Sansa's queen, the North's independent. And Bran's like, yeah, it's cool. And like finally the North get their independence. Good for them. I guess. What the hell is everybody doing? I guess I should find an end. It's getting dark. You know what? Yeah. Need to speak with Innkeeper Aslan about health. What's abroad? Resignifications. I want to sit down and talk. Mentor your main pawn. Give direction to how you like to act in battle. Also, the main pawn speak to you. Cool. Okay.
Here we can rest, manage inventory and skills, and so on. I would be your shield at all times, Arisen. Does this please you?
Sure.
As you wish.
Whatever.
I shall be your
Okay.
shadow, Arisen.
So.
Anything daring to attack you, my main target.
That happens, and it's like, what do we do with John now? It's like, apparently we can't just let him go because the Unsullied are pissed off about it. So guess what happens to John? He gets sent to the Night Watch. And I'm like, really? 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 That's what happens? Bran's the king, but it's like, oh, I guess he goes in Night Watch, I guess. That's just... This just seems so unlike him, too, out of character. Because, like, you felt like you didn't want anything, but it's like, I'm starting to feel like he was full of shit, and this was his plan all along. And I don't think I like Bran anymore. I felt bad for him because in the very first episode, it kind of all centered around him. You know, he falls off a tower, you know, breaks his legs and everything. But it's like, guess he's king, but it's also like, I don't think I like that idea. I don't think I like Bran. I don't trust Bran. There's so many unanswered questions. So I'm like sitting there, it's like, there's gotta be more. And then there's this one shot of like Brienne. She has like the book with like all the knights, with the knights of whatever. I even forgot the name of that too. So much of it is leaving me already because I just want to forget it. These parts. So anyway, she's got like this book of all the knights, and it's all their records and stuff. You see the book, earlier in the show, like season 4, I think, where Jaime's like going through the book. He sees his name, but it's like he has very little accomplishments in it. Brienne has that book. She sees Jaime's page, and then she just starts writing out everything, like the deeds she knows she's done. And it's like, that was a beautiful moment right there too. That's one of the good moments I saw. And then after that, then you go to this part where it's like, everything kind of looks better now. It looks like it's got rebuilt and everything. So Tyrion's hand to the king now. That's another thing too. It's like, no, you'll be my hand. And Tyrion's like, I don't want to be hand though. And it's like, well, no, you got no choice now. You're the hand. Which again, it's like, why do I feel like Bran wanted this to happen? He says he didn't want anything really, but like, I think he was full of shit. So Tyrion's a hand now, and then you just see this shot of him at the table where the small council used to be. The only problem was, whatever was left of the small council is gone. Like, Varys is gone, he's dead, Pycelle's dead, Baelish is dead. And it was just him that's left. But then in comes everybody else. You got Santali, who's now the Grand Maester now. Bronn's back. He has Highgarden and everything, Blackwater. And I guess he's like the master of coin and the master of like what other stuff. And then Podrick's a knight now. And who else? Sir Davos, he's on the council now too. So that happens, they all come down, conducting business and everything. There's little jokes about, like, oh, what about the brothels and stuff? And, like, you got Brienne, I guess, as part of the small council, doing, yeah, I think we can chill with the brothels, just focus on the ships and everything. It just cuts to them talking and doing stuff. And then when Bran comes in, and everyone is like, no, has everybody seen Drogon? And it's like, he's last seen up in the Far East and stuff, but, like, and then Bronn's like, he's far long gone, we don't need to worry about him. And then Bran goes... This is another part that bothered me about Bran. He's like, oh, I don't think you'll have to worry about that. We'll find it. And I'm like, what? Why? Why? What are you planning? What are you planning? I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's like something in the books or something, or maybe something about the show. I might have to like go and like rewatch some stuff. But I don't trust Bran. I don't think I like Bran. So then that happens, and then it's just this series of shots of pretty much all the Stark kids. It's like the Stark family was like the one family that suffered the most throughout the show, and then like they all lost everything, and then they at the end they like gained it back and even more. So Sansa is the Queen of Winterfell now. No, Queen of the North even. Arya kind of like goes off to like explore. Like, she never got the green eyes. I guess it's a thing that's never going to happen. They're talking about a spin-off show in the future. I was thinking it's going to be like kind of like a prequel spin-off. But now they're talking about like Arya spin-off. I don't think that's going to happen. Excuse me. I don't think that's going to happen. So she's an explorer now. She said she's going to go far west. Just start exploring. Bran's king. You know what's funny too? He doesn't need a throne to sit on because he has his own throne. Get it? Yeah, he burnt the Iron Throne, the dragon, but guess what? He doesn't have to need that throne because he has his own throne. I felt like Bran wanted this from the start. I felt like he knew everything that was going to happen. Yeah, of course he knew, but it's like, I feel like that's also kind of selfish of Bran. Bran said, he didn't really want anything. You know what, Bran? You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar, Bran. I think you did want that. That's why you chose to do nothing. And John is part of the Night's Watch now. He's going through. Oh yeah, here's the thing people were complaining about with their direwolves and everything. Everyone was complaining about Ghost not getting a hug or a pet. There's this point, like in the third episode, where John's like goes to Ghost. It's like, nah, man, he belongs in the wild and stuff. Out of all the direwolves, Ghost was the only one left that survived. You see him like go with the Dothraki into like the void and the cloud and everything. You see him, he looks all fucked up and everything. And like they don't go and pet him. He doesn't pet him. Nothing. And like you figure that's the end of that. That's the end of his story. And everyone was like pissed off about it. And then the guys who wrote it, the writers were like, oh yeah, like unfortunately we couldn't get him to pet because he's a big CGI wolf, we didn't have it in the budget. But then, like, in this episode, the last episode, he comes back, the Night's Watch, and guess who's at the Night's Watch? It's Ghost. Ghost in there, and guess what he does? Guess what John does? He walks up, hey, yeah, I'm petting you. And he's like, you happy? You happy now? We all shut the fuck up. I'm petting the CGI dog. I laughed. And that's that. That's the last scene. The last scene is John and the wildlings going off into the woods where the White Walkers came from before. I guess they're like exploring. And that's that. That is the end of Game of Thrones. My final thoughts. Disappointing, but I feel like we can still get more out of this. Here's what I'm hoping for, which I think would be like really cool in the future. For like an anniversary special. For like you release like a Blu-ray whole series special edition anniversary. It's got a whole bunch of extras, but one of the extras I think would be a good idea. I'm not sure if you guys are listening to D&D, but like here's my idea. Different outcome endings, and that lady just walked right through my legs. Hi. Different outcome endings. It's like there's different endings, like of who would be on the throne and everything. I think it's a good idea. Because I feel like Bran did that. Like, Bran looked at all the outcomes. Like, he did, like, Doctor Strange at, like, Endgame. And, like, Infinity War. He just, like, goes, like, throughout all the outcomes and stuff. Like, oh, man, how would this go? How would this go? How would this go? We got one shot. I guess this was the one shot for, like, peace. And it happened. Like, I feel like if we had a different ending to see, like, what would happen if the White Walkers win? What would that be like? What would happen if Dany lost? What would happen if Dany was still on the throne, still alive? What would happen if Jon was on the throne? I feel like there's stuff you can milk from that and make it good. What would happen if Tyrion's on the throne? Multiple endings. That's an idea right there. I would buy that. I would buy the whole series on Blu-ray. And I would watch each ending. You guys can still milk this. And that is it. That is my final thoughts on Game of Thrones. I didn't expect that to happen. Not really how I wanted it to end, but you know what? still one of the greatest shows. One of the greatest shows, probably one of my favorite TV shows of all time. You know what? I went into adulthood with this show. This show turned me into a man. Yeah. Good on you. Thank you, Game of Thrones. And this is Obscure Anime Guy. Is signing off. I'm gonna stop recording now. Bye bye.